Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can display 3D charts using SwiftUI charts in Flutter iOS application. So let's get started. So here you can see I'm displaying a PointMark chart and I'm able to move it as well. So hopefully you get the point. So here you can see this is a 3D chart which I'm displaying. At the end of this tutorial, do follow this tutorial till the end, because at the end I will also show you surface plot, which is a really interesting kind of a chart. So yeah, let's get started first. So first here I have created a Flutter application. Okay, then you need to go to main.dart and here you need to add these two imports. Now I have created this separate view called my SwiftUI view, and instead of Flutter app you will have to write your own project name. As you can see, this is my project name, Flutter app over here. Rest everything is default boilerplate code. Then here is our homepage widget, which is a stateless widget. Then here we have a scaffold, a safe area and size box. Here is our width as well. If you want to give it some height you can give it as well. And here is our my SwiftUI view. Now this is the dart file which I have created. Again, these are all the imports, so feel free to pause the video and copy all this import. This is an identifier. Same identifier needs to be used on native iOS side as well. And here is our creation param. So I'm sending this data from Flutter side to plot it on to native iOS side to plot it on the SwiftUI 3D chart. So you can replace it with whatever you feel like is correct for you. Make sure you always pass the ID, so this is very important. Then you need to pass the X, Y and Z value. Category is not really important, but yeah, it's up to you what you want to pass. Then inside build, if platform is iOS, then we display our UI kit view. That's all there is to it. Then you need to just go to your Flutter application. So here you can see this is my Flutter application. Go to iOS and double click on this .exe workspace. It will open .xcode proj file. You need to click on .exe workspace. Sorry about this. Yeah, so once you click on .exe workspace, it will open it to you for sorry, I was in React Native project. Sorry about this, that's why I got confused. So here is our Flutter project. By default we don't have the exe workspace in Flutter, right? So we do have it. Sorry about this. So you just have to click on .exe workspace and it will open it to you for you in Xcode. Again, sorry about the confusion. Okay, I don't know why this is not opening for me. Here you can see. So if this also happens to you, what you need to do is just click on this .xcode proj file and it will open to you for you in Xcode, and you should see something like this. Now there are few things which you need to keep in mind. To use this SwiftUI 3D chart you would require at least Xcode 26. Okay, and I'm not sure if this only works on iOS 26 or above, but inside runner go to general, and here I have updated the minimum deployment to 26. I think it is available from iOS 26 and above only, but I'm not really sure. It definitely requires Xcode 26, that's I'm pretty sure. Okay, then you need to go to first app delegate over here, and here you need to, so by default you will have all this code and this line of code as well. So here you need to add this line of code. So here we have this registrar of my view, and here we have this Swift file called my SwiftUI view native view factory, and here this is the identifier which we used on Flutter side, right? So same I'm using it on native iOS side as well. Then you need to create this Swift file called my SwiftUI view native view factory. So create a Swift file. Don't create it from VS Code, create it from Xcode, because when you create it from Xcode, it automatically adds so I'll just show you this. It automatically adds to your target membership, where sometimes when you try to add it from VS Code it doesn't get added and it might throw you error when you try to run your application. So to create a Swift file you just have to do right click and just create new empty file and give the name as my SwiftUI view factory. Okay, now this is default boilerplate code which you have to write every time you want to embed a native iOS view inside your Flutter application. So don't worry too much about it, just copy this code. But important thing is here we are referencing another Swift file called my SwiftUI view native view. So here I have created that file as well. Now this is a UI kit view, but we need to integrate SwiftUI, right? So that's why we have to do some so I'll just show you what the code is. So add this import. Here is our Flutter platform view, and here we need to take a parent view. We initialize our parent view as well. So here we get the data from Flutter side and then we pass it to this particular method, right? and here we just override this method as well. Then inside this particular method we get hold of our root view controller. Then here we just do JSON data. Then here we decode our data, like we get it in the form of string, right? So we need to convert it to data. Then we decode the data using JSON decoder. Then we use a UI hosting controller as well, and here we pass this particular SwiftUI view called chart view. So here you can see I have created a separate file for this chart view which takes this chart data. Then we again, this is boilerplate code to embed a SwiftUI inside a UIKit application. So that's what I have done over here. Okay, and here I have taken this extension as well. I'm not really sure if I'm using this extension, but I have kept it as it is. Okay, then you need to create another Swift file called SwiftUI view. So first you have to create this struct of chart data. So here you need to use the same values which you have used it over here inside your Dart application, Flutter application I mean. So yeah, that's what I have done over here. And if you see here, we imported SwiftUI as well as charts, and then here we take our chart data. Now this chart 3D pose is used for, it is basically used to, if you want to rotate, right, move your 3D chart. That's why we use this chart 3D pose of azimuth and inclination. You can play around with this value, and here you can see we pass the chart data, and here we use just point mark. That's all there is to it. Here if you can define the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis label, and chart 3D production, camera projection as well, and chart 3D pose as well. So yeah, that's all there is to it. Now like I told you, there is surface plot as well. So I'll just show it to you how you can use surface plot. So I'll just uncomment this one. I'll just copy this, and here all you need to do is just comment this particular thing out. Rest you can keep it as it is. So I'll just paste it over here. Now here you can see a surface plot takes an x, y and z value, and basically you perform some kind of a mathematical calculation using surface plot. So here you can see I'm just doing this sin phi into x, phi into z divided by 2. Now I'm not really expert on this so even I have copied this code from documentation. And foreground style, you can give it some elliptical gradient, colors. If you want to use this particular foreground style as well, the one which we used on PointMark, you can use that as well. And there are other foreground styles as well, like foreground style by height based, by value based. So I'll leave that up to you to explore. So yeah, let's see. Let's just wait for this to boot up. So it should be any second now. So here you can see this looks pretty cool, right, as a 3D chart. So yeah, this is what it is. There is one more, I mean you can perform any kind of mathematical calculation. So just to show off, I'll just perform this kind of mathematical calculation as well, and I'll run my application. So let's see what kind of an output we get. I think this is hypotenuse, and here we are using the sin, applying sin to it. So yeah, let's just wait for this to run. I'm not sure if it is, no, it is not already running. Okay, so now it has ran. So let's just wait for it. Obviously you can try it on a real iOS device. I'm just lazy to try it on a real iOS device. Like simulator works perfectly fine for this use case as well. So let's just wait for this to finish up. Okay, so here you can see the output. So this is a little sad output, I would say, but the previous one was pretty great. So yeah, it depends on what kind of mathematical calculation you are applying. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.